Hi everybody. Today we're going to make little hats. I wanted to make a straw hat from Mignonette, and this was about as close to straw as I could get that was small enough. Here's a mignonette. This is a little doll made by Tom Freeman, typical mignonette size, and you can see the hat actually fits pretty good. Okay, so what you're going to need is something to make a mold out of. This is what I used. This is from Hobby Lobby, and it's called a wooden nickel. And there were nine of these in the package. This one is 1.5 inches by 1/8 inch thick. My price was $2.49. The other piece is called a split ball, and this one is a 1 inch. There were 6 of them in this package, and I've cut the price off, but it was about the same. And these both came from Hobby Lobby. The other thing you'll need is something like for the straw, and this is what I used. Several different things, and this is what seemed to work the best. It's hemp and size number 80, and I got this from Walmart, and this was I don't know, it was about $5 for this roll. Not too expensive. I used other things, but this actually seemed to work the best. So the first thing you're going to do is glue the ball to the disc, and you might want to let that dry for a while. A couple things I want to tell you. This hat isn't really hard, but it is very messy. You're going to get glue all over your hands. I would suggest that you have a wet paper towel or one of those wipe things handy, because you're probably going to need it. You're going to need a glue that is thick and dries pretty fast. I used some grip glue on the first one and it worked okay, but the tacky glue seemed to be the best. The other glues I used either didn't dry fast enough or they were too runny. You'll also need some toothpicks and a piece of foil. You want to wrap your mold after you get it glued, the disc to the half ball, and it dries. You want to wrap it in foil. This will keep it from sticking so much. Okay, so let's start now. I'm going to show you how I got started. First of all, I would not try to use an applicator, your little tube applicators. I think you'll have better luck if you just make a little puddle on something and then use a toothpick. And you might want to have several toothpicks available because they get gunky and cause problems. The way I started was just with my hands to begin with, and I dunk the end into the glue. Like I say, this is messy. All right, so this hemp is a little stiff, which is good and bad. You'll have to manipulate it a little bit and work with it, and you just want to start rolling it. And the goal is to get it to stick to itself as you're making rounds. Unfortunately, that means you're going to get a lot of glue on your fingers too. I just take a little dab like this and put it on the sides and just keep manipulating the cording. It's going to take a little bit. You're going to have to be patient. And just keep working it around and around. I hope you can see what I'm doing okay. if it's not wanting to stick, bend your hemp a little bit, make it a little more flexible. The other thing to do is, if it doesn't want to stick, is just hold it for a little bit. Just kind of hold it in here. And it's going to want to stick to your fingers, but that's kind of the nature of the beast with this. Okay, now when it gets to be about this big, you're going to start using your form. And so you're going to put it on there. See, this doesn't want to stick, so I'm going to back off a little bit and put a little more glue on it. You're going to have glue that's going to squish through, and it doesn't seem to show on the hemp too much. You'll have an occasional shiny spot, but it's really not too bad. Okay, since that didn't want to stick, I'm just going to hold it for a few minutes. You want it to be a little less than a dime size, but you got to have a base to start with. All right, let's try putting it back on the form. Now it's going to want to slip around on this form, so as you're working with winding it around, keep an eye on the center of the hemp, and if it's sliding off to the side, just push it back to the middle. It's going to want to do that until you get down to where the bend is. All right, let's see if I can get this where you can see it. So I'm just going to put, like I say, the goal is to keep it kind of on the side and wrap that around. And you just keep going round and round and just till it gets big, and follow your form all the way down. Here's one that I've taken quite a ways down, and we're about ready to do the brim, make the fold into the brim. And you're going to do the same thing here. You're going to put your glue kind of down in there. It's going to get on the foil, but that can't be helped. And just keep, as you're working that fold into the brim, take your fingernail or a toothpick or something and kind of push it in there. I'm sorry, I'm getting off camera there. I like to put my thumb about where the glue ended so that it doesn't peel up, and put a little more in there. And just keep working. Patience is your friend on this. If your fingers get too gunky, stop and wipe them off. If your toothpick is getting too gunky, get a new toothpick. Sorry, I'm getting off camera again. And you just keep going around. Oops, that's too much glue. If your glue gets too sticky, get you out a little bit more, make another puddle. I tried this with, kind of like a string-like thing, and that didn't work at all. I tried it with some smaller hemp, and there just wasn't enough surface to deal with. I think the hemp, the other hemp that I tried was 20. I didn't have any 40. If you're interested in trying a different weight, I would maybe try 40. It's a little bit smaller. I don't know if it'll work or not. This hemp isn't perfect. There are spots that are thicker than others. But you know, straw isn't perfect either. Oops. See, that's a real thick spot. I think by the time you get done and you put a little ribbon around the hat, I think it's not going to matter at all. If it bothers you, look at your hemp cord before you start out. Pull off about 2.5 feet, and if there's some areas in it you don't like, cut it off and start another area. Okay, we're getting to the end of the brim here. Maybe one more round. When we pull this off, it's going to be somewhat misshapen, but it will, you can straighten it out with your fingers a little bit, and then as it dries, it will firm up. It'll be kind of hard, actually, kind of like a little helmet, but it's pretty sturdy that way. And I will clip that little thing off in a little bit. All right, we're almost done here. You could probably do this with different sizes of little round balls. If you put a smaller ball on this size disc, it might go for like a dollhouse size doll. If you got a bigger disc, you could have like a bigger brim. You know, and you don't even have to use the wood disc. I would use the wood ball, but the disc, you could probably just use a piece of cardboard. Okay, so we're about to the end here now, and I'm just going to take my scissors and cut this at an angle, like that. And then I'm going to take some more glue, and I'm going to get it on the end of that, and just kind of mush it down. Okay, now if I wasn't trying to film this, I might let this set for, 4 or 5 minutes. But we don't have 4 or 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and try to peel it off. And I just take my fingernail and I try to work it into the crown of the hat, get over to that little ball, and peel it up. Now, that looks terrible, I agree. You can see all that glue and it's sticky, but don't worry about it. Just set it aside and let it dry. This is one that's dried completely, and it's not bad at all. There might be some tiny, shiny little spots in there, but not bad. If you get too much glue and it's oozing out or anything, take your wet paper towel and just wipe it off a little bit. This hemp seems to be pretty indestructible, actually. One other thing I wanted to show you that I tried, and this is what I came up with, and I don't think it's near as successful as the hemp. And what this is, I found this at Walmart also, and this is, they call it gift trim. And it's a cording, and you can use it. It's more difficult than the hemp. It wants to unroll, so as I was making my rounds, I would tighten up the spiral a little bit and glue it down. And as I peeled it off, it really got misshapen, and I thought I was going to have to throw it away. but after it dried, it's not as firm as the hemp, but it's not bad. So that's another possibility. And then just decorate your little hats. A little tiny ribbon, just glued right on, and some little flowers. And this was just a little trim that was in my stash box. Same little flowers. I think those were cut off of a people-sized hat. And this one is this stuff made just as a little trim. And then what I did for that was real easy. I'll show you. Let's see. Take a little piece and cut it. And then just knot it up. And cut off the ends to whatever length you like. And then take a little toothpick and kind of fringe it out. And then glue it on. Anyway, I hope you'd like this. I hope it's giving you some ideas. It's kind of fun, but it is messy. Well, till next time, have a good day. Bye.